We're live.
Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday Bunday. I want to start off today talking about people buying meat birds as laying hens by mistake. I've gone into a couple of feed stores and they have meat bird, little baby ones, on display for people to buy, and there's no sign up there that says that they're meat birds. And I, of course, know what they are just because I know my chickens. And I think that's a little deceiving for a lot of people because if you don't know what you're buying these meat birds and you get them home, and after a while you figure it out, or you ask somebody, or maybe just somebody, one of your friends or somebody, your neighbors realizes what you have and then tells you. And then you're just like, oh, like that's not what I wanted. And when that happens to you, you feel like that's a dirty trick, in which it really is, because for one, meat birds are not good layers at all. Like that's not what they're designed for. That's not what they're bred for. It's the absolute complete opposite. Now, will they lay an egg? Yes, they will. But like I said, that's not what they're designed for. That's not what they're meant for. They're meant to be super, super, super fast growers. And you can look this up online, you know what I mean, just so you learn a little bit more about them. They are literally designed to gain like a pound a week, which is crazy, crazy growth. And they grow so fast that they have poor health, really poor health. They have bad hearts, bad legs. They're like sickly, and they don't care because they're not going to live long. They're just going to butcher them and we're all going to eat them. So they don't care. They don't care about poor health. They just want those suckers to grow fast and big and butcher them. So they're not bred for longevity at all. They don't care about anything except growing fast. And so people would get those, and I've had quite a few people, message me about that. And then also, like I said, I've seen people in the feed store selling them, and I'm just like, why? Like, I don't know if they're cheap, and so they get, lots of those in there, or if there's just, they think people want to buy those and raise their own meat birds, which I'm sure there's a few.
Some people probably do want meat birds.
And I do think there's a few people, that do want to do that. But you would think that there was a sign on the cage, because there's so many new people that do want to raise a few egg hens. And so them coming in there not knowing. So I just wanted to touch on that today. So make sure when you're buying your chickens, your little chickie babies, when you walk into the store, if there's no signs whatsoever, make sure you ask what they are. And then if you get stuck with them, like you have them, and you just like, oh, now what? I mean, if you're not interested in butchering them, and I don't know what to tell you, you can just keep them. I mean, if it's a rooster, those are kind of mean chickens. So the good news is they don't usually live long. So, I mean, you can just maybe keep it as a pet, kind of, just make it its own little area. They don't really like to walk around much because they are just big birds. And I would say limit the food. Don't let that thing eat all at once, because it will just eat a lot and get too big and not walk much and just be really super, super unhealthy. So, for sure, just feed it in the morning and in the evening, and dole the food out and just limit the food. And then, if you can, maybe you're the type of person and you can do it, maybe just butcher it and eat it. And then make sure next time when you go shopping for your chickens, make sure that you ask and make sure you get the right ones. Or give them to somebody who will, butcher them and eat them. You're just going to have to figure something out. So always be careful when you go shopping for the birds you want.
Heather says, good morning. I love your channel.
Thank
I'm a
you,
new chicken
Heather.
owner. Love them already.
I know, you do get attached to them. I swear they're so cute. You wouldn't think you get attached to your chickens, but seeing as they give you the eggs, you appreciate that. You're like, thank you. But plus they are cute, and you do get attached to them. I love my chickens too. And they live long enough to where you do get attached to them. So they're adorable. So anybody out there that might be wondering this week's, update on Homestead Park, like, hey, what's going on? Nothing. It's like nothing is going on. We're still waiting. So we just waiting. It's kind of frustrating, but you just have to be patient and get used to that. So we're just still, just obviously just maintaining the property, taking care of it, mowing, still putting a lot of thought into it, because it is interesting when you are developing a property and thinking about how you're going to build and arrange things. You do think of new, better ideas and better layouts. So there's always changes happening, and just because you think of a better idea. But basically nothing's happening yet. Which is, sometimes you're like, I wish it would hurry up, but it's basically like hurry up and wait. But it's fine, it's fine. We aren't in a hurry, really. Like, we're perfectly fine, we could wait. No, there's no rush. We're not like under pressure to move. We just put our own selves under pressure out of excitement to move.
Joash wants to know how you treat your chickens for mites.
Hi, Joash. What we do is I use diatomaceous earth, which you can get that on my website, beckysHomestead.com, and click Becky's Favorites. And so I will sit down in a chair and I will catch the chicken, and then I'll have the container of diatomaceous earth next to me. Now, if you're nervous or a sensitive person, you can wear a dust mask. And then what you do is lift the wing of the chicken up, because those mites like to live under that part because there's not as many feathers and it's warm, and they like to go under there. So lift the wing of the chicken up and get a handful of the diatomaceous earth and put it under there, and go like that, and get it under there good. And then, gently, nicely turn the chicken over and do it under the other wing, and then do the top of the bird, and then do its belly the best you can. And then when you put the chicken down, just go gently, just over there, because when the chicken gets on the ground, it's gonna shake, and it's just gonna be a white, kind of dust ball, and then it's just gonna run off and go start picking and looking for bugs. But make sure you clean and do all your chickens. You're gonna have to do all that to all your chickens. Make sure you clean your coop really well. And then on the roost where they sleep at night, put that diatomaceous earth on there. Get a lot on there, and get a dust broom. Here, hand me that broom, would you? Over there, please.
I'm all wired in here. I can't walk away.
Okay, well, anyway. The dustpan broom where you sweep the dust into the dust broom. Get that broom, and then just rub that diatomaceous earth into the roost so it gets in there. Because those mites, they like to be in there from when they sleep at night, and how they squat down to sleep. And keep your coop really clean, and you can sprinkle that diatomaceous earth on the ground in the coop. Do that once a week, that whole procedure, the chickens and the coop, once a week for a month, and then just see how everything looks. If you think you still see mites on them, you're gonna have to do it again once a week for a month, and then see how that looks. But that definitely will take care of your problem.
Jin says, hi Becky, my hens just started laying. Will the eggs get bigger with time?
Yes. The eggs always start out really small in the beginning, and I'll have people contact me and be like, oh, my chicken laid a mini egg. They'll be like, is there something wrong? And a lot of times, sometimes it will literally be this teeny weeny, it'll almost be the size of a robin egg. It'll be a teeny weeny little egg. Nothing is wrong with that, and it's perfectly fine. Now, this egg came from one of our smallest chickens, and it's so funny because it's this big now. This is a huge white egg. Now, this is a guinea egg, but I just want to do a comparison. When this chicken started laying eggs, this was about the size of her eggs for the first year. And then, as time goes on, they get bigger and bigger. And look at the difference. This is how big they are now. And this is how they started for the first year. All chickens do that. As time goes on, their eggs get bigger and bigger and bigger. So by the time they're a mature chicken, you're getting huge eggs from your chickens. These eggs, when I put them in the carton, you can't even really close the lid on them. It's they don't even fit in the store-bought egg cartons. They're so big. So that's what happens. And then if you're taking care of your chickens and you're just, like lucky enough they live to be like 7 years old and they're still laying, 6, 7 years old, your eggs are just huge. So funny.
Karen says, I love your book and all your videos.
Good, Karen.
I learned so much from you. You turned me into a new chicken mama. I'm getting my Chicky babies next week and can't wait. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad to hear it. I'm glad you like the book, and I know you'll love the chickens. They're just so much fun. Just don't get too many. Don't get carried away. In your excitement and your enthusiasm, don't get carried away and get too many, because nothing squashes your enthusiasm as getting way too many, ordering way too many, and then all the problems start. You know what I mean? You'll go from a 10 of excitement to like, what is wrong? Everything's going wrong. It's a failure, it's a flop. And it's like, well, no, it isn't. It really isn't. It's just that you ordered too many, so start small. And like I always say, a small success is better than a failure. You know what I mean? So just start small and you'll have success and you'll just be so happy. Because you can always add more, in a year or, next spring, in a couple years, if you're good at it, you got it humming along good, you can always add more. Add on to your coop, make a bigger run, and just get more chickens once you're a pro.
Amber says, good morning, Becky Sunshine.
Good morning, Amber. Glad you joined us. So I want to just show my book to people. This is to all the new people out there. This is like the basics. If you want to get started in chickens and you just want to learn like the basics, you don't want to just flood your head with all the information. There's a million ways to do everything, and you could just read and read and read, and pretty soon you're almost like, okay, now I don't know what to do. Like, I've read so much stuff, I'm lost again. You start lost, and then you read so much information, and you just circle back around, and you're like, okay, I'm lost again, because I just have so much information. So this book is just going to tell you simple. That's the way I like to keep things, and animals are very simple too. They don't need that much stuff. They just need the basics, and they're very happy, quiet. So that's what this book is. From my years of experience, this is just the basics. And if you give this to your chickens, you will have great success. It just shows how to take care of them, their housing, their food, a few problems and how to solve them. Just basic problems that come up, and how to solve them, and just really basic. And so this is really helpful, really helpful. So.
And the whole plans for the flip coop / city coop is in there.
Which is very important, just little coops.
Which, if you buy that by itself, is $30. But you do get a video with that kit.
Yeah, that helps you build it.
But this is just the written instructions, so you get a lot of value in that book.
Yes, and you can just get the shopping list, take it with you, go into the store, get what you need, and all that. So it's very helpful.
Amber did a $9.99 super chat.
Hi, Amber.
It says number one. It's the pair that says number one fan.
Oh, so cute, Amber. So cute. Yeah, so that book, Scott always puts a link there, so you can just click on it. If you click on it, it's like it doesn't like automatically you're buying it. You can just click on it, have a look, see, just see if you're interested in it, and then if you are, then of course you can click it and get it. But if not, you're not like too far in. You have to. You can just like whatever, back out, whatever, just go away. Not get it. It's up to you. So. And then, the coop is very important when you're getting started, though. I always talk about that. Your coop is very important. You have to get that settled and think about where you're going to put it in your yard, how much room you have to dedicate to a coop. We're all different. Our yards are all different. Some yards have a patio, a cookout area. Some yards have to have a lot of parking in it. We have cars and stuff, so a lot of our yard is taken up by parking. A lot of us have kids, and so a lot of the yard is taken up by toys and stuff for the kids. Whatever, you just have to spend time thinking about how much area you have for your chickens, and then realize that your chickens need a shady, quiet area. You know, they can't be in the middle of a lot of chaos and stuff. So, you know, you have to put thought into all that of where you're going to put your chickens and everything. The coop is very important. So before you run out and buy those Chicky babies, when you see them in the store, you're just drooling over them because they're so cute and so tiny. You're like, oh, you know, I'll take 10 of those. Like, don't do that. Like, go home and figure out the coop size first, because you don't want to overcrowd them. You know, it's very, very important to the success not to overcrowd the coop. So that's number one, is you have to figure out where you're going to put the coop, and then, you know, how many chickens can fit into that coop. That determines everything. So, and that will determine your success too.
We got a $1.99 super chat from the Greater Danes.
Oh, thank you, the Greater Danes. I appreciate that.
And they said, I enjoyed the book.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. So glad. Hope it helps you. Hope it serves you well and your chickens.
If you bought it on Amazon, if you could go and leave a review, that really helps us a lot.
Yeah, that helps us, just because when, you know, another person reads the review, and then they'll just trust us more. You know, people that don't know us. Once people get to know us, they trust us. I read something today, and they said, what was that I read you? That they said they listen to us and my words are like their Bible or something when it comes to chickens. They believe everything I say. So people that know us trust us. But, you know, new people that are just coming into it, you know, they're not sure yet. So if you leave us a review, that does help us. For the new people that don't know us that well, that helps.
Ibrahim wants to know if a fox, it can stress the chickens out and
absolutely
make them die.
Yes. Let me just talk about this. Stress can definitely kill a chicken. It is so weird. You wouldn't think so, but chickens die fairly easy. You know, they can die from
and that's Ibrahim.
Yes, Ibrahim. I want to mention your name just so you know I'm talking to you. Yes, chickens can die fairly easy because they're not as tough as you think. You know, they seem pretty hardy because they're kind of sturdy with all those feathers and stuff. But the thing is, there's a lot going on in there with laying all those eggs and stuff. But what happens is they can get overheated from anxiety and stress. So they can die from heat stroke. And stress just overwhelms them. And then what happens is it lowers their immune system, and they'll catch a virus. And, you know, there's a few chicken viruses that'll just take them down too, and they'll die. So foxes that, even if it doesn't like get in the coop and like physically attack them and kill them, that fox going around the coop stalks them, and they feel stalked. They know what being stalked feels like, and it scares the daylights out of them. So you have to, you know, have a wooden hen house. That's what I recommend for everybody. You know, a solid wooden hen house is really good for your chickens. And then of course your roost is up off the ground. So that definitely helps. I mean, years ago, back in the day when every home practically had, you know, their own chicken coop for eggs, they all had wooden hen houses because people knew back then they had the skill. So nowadays, like, that's lost, and I'm trying to bring it back. That's my job. I'm like, come on, homesteaders, we're all coming back now. I'm bringing it back. Becky's bringing it back. So I do recommend that everybody have a wooden hen house. It does protect the chickens better, not just from the elements, but also just making them feel safe, which keeps them healthier.
And you could take the flip coop or the city coop and have that be the run
yes.
off your little wooden hen house.
Yes, yes. And the city coop, you can get pieces of plywood and put them on the sides, 3 sides, and then a lightweight piece for the roof. So you can
just drill holes in it and then zip tie it on there.
Yeah, you can zip tie it on there, and you know, it'd be sitting on the ground. So like the PVC pipe isn't supporting the wood. You know, there's 3 pieces on the ground and then the piece on the top. So, you know, you can encase that in wood for people that are living more up north and need more of a barrier than just the sun fabric, you know, like we live in Florida. And I do have farm dogs outside 24/7, so nothing is ever stalking my chickens because nothing comes in my yard because of my farm dogs.
Mary TJ says, Hi, Becky. What do you feed your chickens for
TJ.
protein? I live in Africa and have 4 chickens. You look great as always.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary TJ. Well, there is such a wide variety of what you can feed your chickens for the animal protein. So chickens aren't picky, thankfully. And whatever you have available where you live. So if you can get whatever bugs, little critters, I don't know what's available over there, but it seems to me Africa would have a lot of bugs, worms, just snails, grasshoppers, crickets. If you go fishing, fish, anything, for me personally, for convenience a lot of times, since I'm busy, I will just use high protein, grain-free cat kibble or dog kibble. Or I will just do mealworms, sardines, which is fish. I'll do fish. Table scraps because I eat a lot of meat myself. So beef, fish, like I said, pork, just whatever meat, there is around. And then if I let my chickens free range, of course, they'll go straight to the woods and they'll just get their own. And the wiring on my chicken coop is they're 2 inches by 4 inches. So bugs, even when they're in the coop, the bugs go in, they can fit into the coop. So even though they're in the coop a lot of the times, I see bugs go into the coop through the wires and they run around and get the bugs themselves. So, but I do supplement with the cat kibble in the food just to make sure they get enough so they just continually lay. So, just so you know, whatever's available where you live, though. You don't have to be too picky about it. The key is just to make sure they get some every single day. That's the key. And you want to make sure that it's available to their body in the morning. That's the most important part, because as soon as they lay the egg of the day, that protein needs to be available right then and there for the egg for the next day. So that keeps them laying very regularly. If the protein's not available then they'll skip a day laying until they get enough protein to make the next egg.
Amber says, my favorite Bantam rooster died this morning.
Oh, how sad, Amber. Oh, I know. The thing is, when you choose to be a homesteader and have animals, we just have to realize that that's something we deal with, right? Sadly, but we just know we have to deal with that. I'm sorry for you.
Olivia wants to know how often she should put diatomaceous earth with her chickens.
How I do it is I will mix up a big garbage can, which I use as feed containers in my barn for all my animals because I have quite a few. I like to mix up a big feed container of my chicken mix. And then it's just done, I don't have to worry about it. And I just put the diatomaceous earth in that feed mix as I'm making it. So it's in there all the time. So they're getting a little bit of that every single day, which keeps them dewormed. And I say how I do that in my book. I talk about my chicken mix and then how I do the diatomaceous earth and mix it in there. And that's really good. It just keeps your chickens dewormed at all times. If your eggs have poop on them when they lay them, these eggs I have right here, I just want to show you these eggs. Oops, I don't want to drop one. These eggs come out of the coop just like this. I didn't wash these eggs, so this is how your eggs should look when you go collect them out of the coop. Your eggs should not have poop on them. If your chicken eggs have poop on them, it means you need to deworm your chickens. So all your eggs should be clean when you get them. You shouldn't have like poopy eggs. They should have clean, like a little sheen to them. Now I want to show you Bubby's eggs. Guinea hens lay their eggs on the ground. Now this isn't poop. This is kind of like dirt, and they kind of bury them. Guineas are so weird.
And when she's on her ground nest and she sits down low on it, she's like as flat as a pancake. You can't even see her.
And she buries them. Like you'll just see
so
the little
funny.
top of them. I'm like, oh, Bubby, you're so naughty.
Fadi says, hi, Becky from Lebanon.
Hi, Fadi.
What do you give your chickens for a calcium supplement?
Well, in America over here, you can buy bags of crushed oyster shells. So, I mean, people over here love to eat those oysters. So you can buy them in cans. And so obviously they like do something with the shells and they don't throw them away. So they have another company that buys them and then they crush them up and bag them up because people feed them to chickens. And then you can just buy those, a bag of that. And then I just get a can, I just get a big scoop of that and I just throw it in the coop. And then whenever the chickens, they know how to do it their own self. You don't have to like give it to them. They'll just eat it when they need it. So chickens definitely need calcium available at all times though, that's for sure. Because their muscles need it for them to push the egg down and then to lay the egg. And if they don't have enough calcium, they're gonna get egg bound. So they also need enough calcium for the egg shell itself to be really strong.
We got a $4.99 super chat from Amber. It's the pair working out, and it says, keep it up.
Amber, you're so funny.
That's a good one.
Oh, I got a workout this week riding my mule. Oh, he was a handful, let me tell you. He's a lot to ride. He's a beast. But I don't know, I just can't give up on him. I love him. He's so good. He's so good, but he's kind of a handful.
Here's an interesting question from Cheryl.
Okay,
I just found your channel. Is it possible for me to maintain chickens on a friend's property a few miles away? If I have a good setup, can I go over in the morning and the evening to care for them?
I never recommend that to anybody, to tell you the truth. I just think sometimes it's not fair to the animals in case one of them gets in trouble. But in a way, it might not be any different than somebody that's gone all day working. But at least, I mean, if somebody that goes away all day working, at least at night, if something happens, they're home at night and they could hear it and run outside and save them. So I personally never recommend that. I mean, could it be done? Yeah. But I mean, I guess if you built a super duper coop.
But then they're going to be living completely alone except for what? Like
twice a day.
Half an hour, twice a day?
Yeah.
Chickens are so delicate. And
they like people though.
To be alone that much?
Yeah, I know it. I personally don't recommend that. Can't you just squeeze out a little spot in your place? Unless does your friend live at the property? Maybe your friend will be there. Is the friend there all the time? So somebody's there. I mean, if it's just vacant property, I personally don't recommend that. I've seen people that do that, and I always feel sorry for the animals, and all the neighbors talk and feel sorry for the animals, and it's just never a good situation.
Corbin says, I'm going to go write a review for your book on Amazon.
Corbin. Oh, thank you so much, Corbin. That is so sweet and so helpful to us.
Mary TJ says he loves your necklace.
TJ, thank you. These are crystals that my father bought my mother
And Amber seconds that. She says it's beautiful.
Decades ago. Thank you so much. I had to restring them, but I did.
Mira TJ says sell it on Amazon, but you do make necklaces that are.
I do, but they're not these crystals.
We should all shame Becky right now because I bought little glass chicken beads and she was gonna make necklaces to sell, but she hasn't made any necklaces yet. I gotta tell her to get cracking and making those chicken necklaces.
I'm busy. I've been making horse tack and stuff. I do. I'm always making stuff.
Make those chicken necklaces and sell them because they're really cute little glass chicken beads.
I will. I have my art studio in the back, but somebody's living in my house now while we're moving to Homestead Park because Scott sold his house. So, I mean, it's a little transition period for now. So
don't blame me.
I'm blaming him. I got to blame somebody.
Yeah, well, when we move to Homestead Park, you're going to be living with me.
I'm not going to be living with you.
Well, Homestead Park is mine.
No, it isn't. It's ours.
So the tables will be turned at that point.
He's just saying that. It's not his. It's ours. Because he's selling, I'm selling. And we're going in on it together. But he can say it's his. It's okay. I'll let him say it. Mama knows the truth. It's 50-50.
Demand says, my chickens were laying lots of eggs, but now they kind of stopped. So why could that be?
Are they molting? That's always my first question, which is a weird month. Excuse me. It is a weird month for them to molt. But when chickens are molting, because I don't know where you live, but when chickens are molting, they stop laying eggs. So, and then sometimes if it does have super hot days, they will stop laying. You know what I mean? Like a couple days ago, I'm trying to think, I got like 1 or 2 eggs a day, when normally like most of my chickens are laying all the time. So, I mean, it was just like super hot all of a sudden. So I think my chickens were like, whew! But I mean, you know, it should pick up. But if they're molting, it'll be, you know, it takes them like, they might not lay for 3 weeks until their new feathers grow in.
And I would also check and make sure there's not like a raccoon coming at night and scaring them. Or did somebody park their car right near the coop and the bumper is reflecting off, the sun is reflecting off the bumper and scaring them?
Right.
Some little thing like that could be doing it too.
Right. Some change, you know, sometimes a change freaks them out. Like, did you tie a dog near the coop, you know, recently? You know, a change will, you know, did you add new chickens into the coop? You know, that'll mess it up. Chickens are very sensitive, you know what I mean? A change will knock them right off their routine and they'll stop laying. So you have to just try to think about all that. But if nothing's changed and they've stopped laying, and see if they're molting, and then make sure that they're getting enough oyster shells. You know, they need enough calcium, because if they're not getting enough calcium in their diet, they will stop laying, because they just can't. They just don't have enough calcium to make an egg. And also make sure they're getting enough animal protein. They need meats, because if they're not getting enough protein, they'll just stop laying, because they can't make an egg. They just can't make one. They don't have enough nutrients in there to make an egg. So check those few things and see.
Alicia says, I have 3 chickens in a 16 by 16 pen.
That sounds good.
My
Perfect.
garden is 20 by 20.
Nice.
The compost is tucked between them. The 3 all work together beautifully.
Oh, that sounds like you have a great setup. Sounds wonderful. Good for you. You go, girl. Gardening and chickens go perfect together. I just think they're made for each other, chickens and gardens. Although I do love garden ducks. I love the ducks to live in the garden the whole time. But yeah, chickens and gardens definitely go together good. Love the compost too.
Lourdes says,
Hi,
you go,
Lourdes.
Becky. You're bringing the homesteader out of us, even if it's baby steps.
Yes, who cares? Baby steps are awesome. At least you're going in the right direction. Who cares? The homesteader's in us. It's in a lot of people. Of course, there's some people it's not in there, but it's in way more people than they realize. I'm bringing it out. I'm going to light that fire. I'm happy to do it. Look out. I'm coming after you. I got the match is lit. I'm coming after you. Okay, so I don't know what else to talk about. Let me just think.
Some people do want to also talk about buying land.
Oh, they do want to talk about buying land. Okay, well, buying land is awesome. And I also have a book about buying land. And buying land is like a bigger deal than chickens. Of course, that is such a huge deal in your life. Such an important step. It's such a big deal. And you think chickens are exciting. Oh my gosh, buying land is so exciting, so life-changing. Like, chickens are exciting, and it is getting you in the direction of homesteading. It's like wetting your whistle. Chickens is like wetting your whistle to buying land. If you do the chicken thing and you just light your fire to homesteading, and then you want to I want to do more, I want more, and then the next step is buying land, which hopefully that's the progression you're going to take. This is for the next step. Oh my goodness. It is so exciting, such a big deal. But this, you got to be brave though. This is a big deal. So this takes even more thought and more, more guts, more planning.
It's never been a better time, though, to be a homesteader right now, because working from home has never had such a huge boost than from all this stuff that's happened. Yeah. So when you work from home, you can live on your homestead. Yeah, it works. Just like chickens and gardens go together, working from home and homesteading goes together. Yeah, it's so awesome. So Scott always puts a link in the description for the land book here. Deb says, I would love to have a small plot of land somewhere, kind of out in the country, but not deep country. Right. And I think that's a good point, which I think we talk about in the book. We do talk about that, yes. We don't like to be deep country ourselves. I want to have, enough property where I have privacy. But I don't want to be like way out there. I don't want to be 30 miles from town. It's like, because I do like to socialize. I do like to do things. And for me, that's just personally, there are people that love that, but that's just too far out for me, And I recently just figured something out for myself, which was that there's the city, then there's the suburbs, then there's what I call the real country, where it's big lots. It's pretty far from the city. Like, somebody from the city would be like, oh, wow, you live way out in the country. But then if you keep going, then you get to the country suburbs, which is after the real country. Yeah. And what I figured out on my own is you don't want to live in the country suburbs. They're too far out, and then you're living in a tight little neighborhood. You want to live, not the city, then the suburbs, then you want to live third spot, which is the real country, where it's big lots. That's where you want to live. Yeah. That's what I figured out. Yeah. Very nice. Where everybody has big lots. And usually the regulations are like, you need 10 acres to build a house. That's like, you're not in city limits. You want to be outside city limits, where you need 10 acres to build a house. Where's that? Outside, that's where you live in the county, but you're out, like James, he's in the county. So we are our new property. We don't have 10 acres. Well, it used to be. The road went through it. That's a little exception there, when the road has to go through it. Nobody else has 10 acres. They all have houses. Where does it say that? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Our neighbor doesn't have 10 acres. It was all cut up. That's all cut up like that, or more. Well, anyway, that's kind of a side point that doesn't really even matter. From what I was saying. Well, the point I was making is that's how it works when you're out into the country, where they'll be like zoned where it has to be bigger plots in order to build a house. You know what I mean? This is more where we live now. It is in the country, but you have like 1 acre pieces to build houses. So if it's all filled up, it's like house, which we call the cubburbs, which is like a country neighborhood. It could end up being, if it all fills up. Yeah, that's where you don't want to live. Yeah, because you think it's a lot, but when it all fills up, you're almost like, oh, it's not as country as you think. And then you're driving really far to live in a neighborhood. Yeah, because it still ends up being a lot of traffic. That's the key. It ends up being a lot of traffic when they all fill up, So, but it's so exciting. We kind of got off point, but it's just trying to give you a little advice if you're looking for land. Just giving you a little advice of, what you have to look out for when you're looking for land. But oh my gosh, it's so exciting to get a little bit of property and to take the next step. If the chickens light your fire and you really think you do want a little bit of land to be a homesteader, take the next step and just, expand a little bit further. So awesome. And really what you're doing is you're not necessarily expanding to get more animals and stuff. It's just expanding on that quiet country lifestyle of just having more space for yourself. You know what I mean? More peace and quiet, a little bit more nature, just getting yourself away from all the noise and chatter of society. We got a 99-cent super chat from Amber, and it's the tree emoji. Thank you, Amber. Yeah, trees are awesome. The more trees, the better. I love trees. It's amazing. You can just start to appreciate trees when you're out in the country.
Okay, well, anyway, so buying land is tricky though. There is a big deal about buying land, and there's a lot to know about buying land, and you can't just, well, you can, but you might regret it, just trolley out to buy land. You know, you do have to take your time, do research, think about it, you know, don't be in a hurry. Don't just get all excited and, you know, like with the baby chickens, just run out and buy 20 of them. You know, it's the same thing with land. Don't like save up your money. You work so hard to save your money. You know, don't have your little pile of money and then be like, oh, we finally did it. We have X amount of dollars, and get all excited and then just run out and buy a piece of property. You know, don't do that. You know, you worked so hard to save your money. Now that it's time to purchase property, be picky and smart. So,
Kristen says, I really want to buy land and
Hi,
build my own
Kristen.
house just like you.
yeah. It was an experience. It was definitely an experience. It changes you for the better as a person. You know, it changes you as a person. You definitely get more independent, more confident.
I'm going to build my new house next. Like, that's the next thing after we move the cabin. And I'm going to do a steel building. I really think right now, for building your own house, a steel building is probably the best option in my opinion.
It's so exciting.
Because it comes with the blueprints. So that's $5,000 right there. If you do anything else, you got to do your own blueprints, which to pay an engineer,
Yeah, it's pricey.
that's going to be like $5,000.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta think things through, you know, and your money is valuable. You work hard for your money, so you want to get the most for your money. And so, you know, try to be flexible in that sense when it comes to building your home. You know, and square footage matters. So you are better going smaller and having quality, you know, than to just be like, oh, I want this huge house, you know, and just skimping on quality. You know, you're better to have something smaller but have it very sturdy.
And it can go up so fast. You have somebody do the cement slab foundation, and then you hire somebody to put the frame up. And then boom, you have a structure there, and then you can go and do all the finishings like the framing and the fixtures and all that stuff.
Which is doable for just an ordinary person. Like I did all the framing on the inside of my house, you know. Like you don't have to be like some master carpenter to frame. They have framing books, you know, and like you build the wall on the ground, just read the book and build it, and then you just like put it up and attach it, you know what I mean? And then like you can do a lot of that stuff yourself once you have like the shell of the house up. So, you know, it's definitely doable. It's very exciting. And so you're better off just going small. And it's the same like when I say you can always add on with the chickens, it's the same with the house, you know. Start small, and then if you're just like suffering, which I know it's not going to happen, but let's just say you're just suffering, you're just dying, like you're just like, oh, we need more room, we just need more room. Well, you can always add another 12 by 12 foot room onto your house. You know, that's not the end of the world. That's not something that's not achievable. You can always do that in the future. So it's much better just to start with your big main area, you know, not too big like I'm saying, and get that done, get that settled. You're in there. You're on your property, you know what I mean? Start small, get that settled, and then if you live in there and you just have to have more room, you can always just add a little extension to that.
Because once you get your housing sorted out, you are really in a good position in life.
Yeah.
Compared to so many people. There's people who look rich and live in a huge fancy house, but it's all financed. It's
mortgage to the hilt.
And they have to work 60 hours a week minimum just to keep their head above water. Like, that's no way to live.
It's such a load on your shoulders.
And housing is, you know, one of the biggest expenses you're going to have. And so when you can get that sorted out in an affordable way, your life is so much
It does
more
change your
relaxed.
life. It does change your life. Yeah. It does change your life. And then it's so funny because when you do start to like get the homestead mindset, it is so funny how you just realize that you don't really need that much, you know. You can have such a high quality life, such a happy life, and that does not equal like tons of material stuff.
I've been in people's massive, like legit mansions, and they're all in like 2 rooms. They had the dining room like you see in a movie where it's the long table and Scrooge McDuck is down at one end, and then you're at the other end and you go, can you pass the salt? And it's like a 20-minute walk. They have that, but then they're all eating in the dining table in the kitchen. So they're not in that room eating. They're in the dining room in the kitchen. And then they have like one little, like kind of
And they don't even cook. They probably don't even really cook.
They have one little nook office where they have like a sofa and the TV. It's like a normal little TV room.
Such a waste. What a waste. I'm like, lose it.
So Pets in Life says, I want to have my own homestead, but how do I earn money? And so that's what we were just talking about, how now, really, recently, the working from home has never been more, everywhere, more pronounced.
How you can earn money is you can get a degree doing something with computers. That is a very smart way for young people, really at any age. You don't even have to be young.
Yeah, I'm not young.
Age.
I'm not young, and I'm going to college again for that.
He's young. He's stupid. Any age person can earn money doing something with computers. I mean, they're begging for people to get a degree and get into that field. All you have to do is be willing to learn a new skill. Learning stuff is fun and exciting. That is a joy in life, to learn something new. These people that sit around moaning and groaning are just so lazy and pathetic. It's like, open your mind and don't be lazy. Like, be willing to learn. Learning stuff is a joy. And you're doing it to benefit yourself. Forget everybody else on the planet. You're doing it to benefit yourself. And once you learn and get a skill, you're helping other people, because what you're doing is helping. And then it's also benefiting you. You'll make a good living. And then you can work from home. You can live on your homestead. You're just benefiting yourself so much. Look into that. You can learn from home as well. It's not like you have to drive to college every day. That is just such a huge opportunity for people. Just blows my mind that more people aren't doing it. Just blows my mind.
Yeah, Western Governors University I really like them. It seems like the best college. So I would recommend them to anybody.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that more people aren't doing it. These people that just sit around moaning and groaning that they don't know what to do, they don't know how to make money, they need money, and yet they just sit there. It's like, get off your rear end and get a degree in something that we need. It's like, this is something we need. They're begging for people. Go do it. You can do it. You have a brain. You have the ability. All you have to do is go get the skills. It's like, get moving. I'm going to be the motivator. Get moving. It's like, figure it out. You have the ability. Do it. You won't regret it. Is it going to be easy? No, it isn't. Who cares? You can do it. Nothing's easy. What's easy? Nothing.
Amber agrees, says the steel building's the way to go.
Oh yeah, still right now in this economy, like, different housing changes, but for sure the steel building's the way to go.
Here's the pro tip. I'll give this one out for free. It's all about the roof line. You see steel buildings, like if you go through like a commercial zone where they have all the warehouses and stuff, and the steel buildings have like the slope, like a normal roof where it comes to like a point, but it's a very shallow point. And that's what makes it look like a warehouse. What I'm going to do with my house, they call it a single slope roof.
Which we call it a shed roof.
Which we call a shed roof, but they call it a single slope roof.
Which I've built for years.
Where it starts at the front and goes straight back. It's not a point like a gingerbread house. It does not look like that.
It's the easiest roof you can build.
It looks like an outhouse or a shed. That's why I call it a shed roof. But that, I think, personally, that looks really good. And then it doesn't look like a warehouse. It'll look like a unique building. And actually where we live, driving into town, somebody has a building they built, and it's a single slope roof.
Who's that?
That store up here. It has. I say it looks like my house. It's gray steel building with a single slope roof.
Oh yeah.
And it looks great.
Yeah. Yep.
So do that. Don't do the pointy roof.
That's the kind of roof I've always built on all my buildings, just because it's the easiest. I've never built pointy roofs. I've always done shed roofs. It's so easy. I've done it on all my animal shelters. I never knew it was called a single slope. I've always called it a shed roof, but if you call the manufacturer, they call it a single slope. So yeah, I think that's perfect. Saves you money too. It's the least expensive roof. It looks good. Then you can have all your windows in the front. It slopes down to the back. It have a little bit of an overhang. It looks really nice, really nice. And then inside, your ceiling's a little higher, you know. It looks good from the inside too, because your ceiling will be a little bit higher. So it'll give it a little bit of wow from the inside. It'll look really good. So do the steel building. And the thing is, the great thing is, if you have somebody put it up, it'll just, the building will be up in one day. It's like, boom.
Yeah, and you could even hire people to do everything. It's like you'll still save so much money versus like trying to buy a house.
Yeah. And the good thing is, you can like face those in different material, you know, like you can, if the frame is steel and then the roof, you know, is metal as well. But I mean, some people face the front in different, you know, a different material. They have different facings you can face it in as well. So it, you know, the outside doesn't have to be that metal sheathing. I mean, it could be, of course, but.
That's the air conditioner making a noise.
Yeah.
Amber says, yeah, a big house is not what you want. It's all about just having time with your family, which, yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, have just enough, you know.
And Amber did a $2.99 super chat and says, the pair doing fist bump.
So cute.
I love the little red sweatband.
Yeah, it's so
the pair
funny.
has.
So funny. Thank you, Amber. You're so sweet. So sweet. Okay, let me have a little sip of my water. My Jell-O cup.
Somebody says they like the red horse in the background. I think, can they see thunder out the window? Oh, that. I thought they meant thunder.
Oh, my little statue horse. I bought it at a thrift store.
Don't talk and drink your drink. That's very rude.
It's water. It's only water. Oh, you tip this little soap over, it's gonna leak. Joe, make the soap leak.
Raphael says, good evening from the Philippines.
Hi, Raphael.
Is it tomorrow there?
Good evening. No, it's night. It's nighttime there.
But it's almost tomorrow.
Yeah, it's evening. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, well, I had a couple questions on my phone from people.
We have a lot of questions here.
Oh, we do? Okay, sorry. Sorry. I had questions I hadn't answered yet on my phone from people, you know, that I wanted to answer, but I just didn't get a chance because I was so busy this week. So busy. Well, you're not telling me the questions. You're just scrolling. If you give me my phone, I'll ask a couple.
Kristen wants to know how much a horse costs.
Well, it costs a lot in many ways.
Yeah, it's not just a cost of buying it, it's how to take care of it. It's very expensive. It's
not just the initial cost of actually purchasing the physical horse, because you can get them free, but the cost of a horse, like I said, you can get them for free. So that's not necessarily the cost of a horse. It's a lot of time to take care of a horse. And then it's the actual cost of feeding the horse, and you have to trim their feet, you have to file their teeth down, and then they need shots.
Vaccines.
And then they have to have this test drawn every year called a Coggins to make sure they don't have this one disease that they can spread to other horses when you take them off your property to go, you know, to the parks and to horse shows and stuff. And then it's, you know, the gear you need, your saddle and bridle and, you know, all that other stuff you need. And then also buckets and halter and brushes, and horses can cost a lot of money, especially initially. And then, of course, it's a lot of time involved because you have to take care of that big animal. And then it's also a cost in building the fencing to keep the horse in. So, you know, if you can't do all that stuff yourself, it can be very expensive initially. And so you have to put a lot of thought into taking care of a horse.
Sharon, our channel member,
Hi, Sharon.
says, love your information.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being a member.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
Amber
Sharon.
says, hello, Sharon, fellow member.
Sharon and Amber are members. And then, of course, it takes time to ride the horse and train the horse too, which is a lot of training. So,
Amber wants to know how my school is doing. Real quick, I'll just give a little update. I won't bore people with it, but I met my mentor. They give you a mentor who's with you through the whole program. And so I met them on Wednesday. We had a phone call. And you have to speak with them every single week on the phone. Like that, you have to. And so they kind of just help you line up your schedule and just give you support through the whole thing. And he has the same degree I'm going for and then more. He has like a master's degree and stuff. And so I start officially on July 1st. So I'm going to have to be really putting my nose to the grindstone and really working.
but he can do it. I'm more than confident.
Ultimate Gamer 47 did a $1.99 super chat and says, "Hi Becky, love watching you every Sunday."
I'm so glad. Ultimate Gamer
47.
47. Thank you, and I'm glad you like watching. Glad you join us. Glad to have you. So, yeah, I'm sure Scott can do it. I'm confident.
$1.99 super chat from Amber. It's the smiling Chihuahua. That looks like
Thank you.
Fifi.
Oh my gosh, Fifi! Don't even tell me about Fifi. My rotten little Chihuahua. Where is she?
She's in the weeping basket.
Get her. Come here, Fifi.
Well, she's not getting all the
Get her.
attention. She goes in the weeping. We call it the weeping basket because they lay in there and look all weepy.
When I'm not home, she goes in there. Get her. Fifi.
I'm all wired in here. I can't walk
Oh
away.
my gosh. I want to show Fifi to everybody. Here she comes. Look, bend down and get her. She's right there.
Oh, she's
Come
like,
here,
I'm not
Fifi.
camera ready.
Come here, Fifi. Oh, come here, Fifi.
You're wired in
unplug.
too.
I'm going to unplug. I'm just going to get her. She's right here. She came to our mommy. Come here, baby. Oh, she's my good girl. She's my good girl. Oh, she's such a good girl. She's so good. She's such a good girl. She's such a
Just hand me the wire and I'll plug it in.
There she is. She's going to get me all hairy. She's the rottenest dog on the planet. She's acting all scared, but she's the farthest thing from scared.
BDB75 says, "I'm sorry if I missed this, but have you moved already? Watching you from France."
Oh, hi, from France. No, we didn't move yet. We are trying to line everything up. Right now we're waiting for the house mover. He's very busy. So the next...
Yeah, he said he was moving a huge house, and then he was moving a bunch of portable classrooms. And so I don't know. We gotta just get on the schedule. You know, it's like
Yeah.
put us in line.
Yeah, we're in line. He's going to come out and map out the route we're going to take with the cabin. So we're on his list.
Modern Day Mercantile wants to know why their hens aren't sleeping on the roost. They're sleeping on the ground.
So, okay, so sometimes your roost is too high and the hens can jump up on the roost, but what happens is in the morning, there's not enough room for them to flap and jump down to the ground. And what happens is they have to just jump off and they plop down to the ground, and they don't like that. So what you have to do is you have to build a chicken ladder so they can just walk down the chicken ladder and get onto the ground. And then in the night they'll walk up, you know, they'll start walking up and down the chicken ladder. So, and then also, I don't know if they have mites. Sometimes there's gets mites on the roof. I mean, on the roost. So you might want to put some diatomaceous earth on the roost and then, you know, brush that in with the little brush so they, you know, don't have any mites that get on their legs at night and bite them. So maybe do both of those, but I would start with the chicken ladder.
Amber did a 99-cent super chat with a little dog emoji and says Fifi loves her mama.
She's rotten. She's shivering like she's cold. What are you doing?
She only likes a very narrow temperature, humidity, and she likes sunny weather. If there's clouds, if there's too hot, too cold, she's very unhappy. Fifi needs everything just right.
She's useless.
No, she's not.
Scott says that's her appeal.
She holds the sofa down. If she didn't lay on the sofa, it would float away.
Scott
so
says
she does a very important job.
Her appeal is her uselessness. Like that is her, her.
It's a benefit, not a problem.
Yeah, like that is her, asset. That's what she brings to the table, her uselessness. And it's true, like that's all she's got. That's all she's got to give, is that she's absolutely useless and delicate. And she's like shivering. Fifi, you've got to be kidding me. What is there to shiver about? Is the fan blowing on you and you're cold?
She's like, well, I like it to be exactly 79 degrees.
Do you want to go back to your basket?
74 degrees, I'm not comfortable.
You want to go back to your basket? Huh? Are you shy and embarrassed that you're on the camera? Huh? You're like snuggled onto me so tight. It's not that bad, really.
She knows there's like something happening and she's all nervous.
Yeah, she's like nervous. Because the light's shining on her, I think. Is the light scaring you? Come on, Fifi, lighten up.
Well, let her go back to the weeping basket.
Okay. Say goodbye, Fifi.
She's like, I didn't sign up for this.
I know. Look, she's literally shivering. It's pathetic. I'm going to have dog hair all over me. Like,
Fifi. She's like,
She sheds more than a horse.
She's like, I need to have more special treatment. I'm very special.
Whatever.
Letitia says that she has a Chihuahua that looks like Fifi.
Oh my gosh, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. But every night she wants to come and get in the bed with me. She's like, and I'm always like, I'm going to sleep in the bed with a dog. It's so pathetic. But then she just stays down there like looking up at me. And I just look down there and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, good thing you're 4 pounds. Otherwise, there's no way I would ever let you in my bed. So I let her. I give in. I don't know why. I don't like ever let a dog sleep in my bed, but for her, I give in. I let her get in the bed. She's like, she curls up into a ball. She's like that big. It's the only way she gets away with it. She's so funny. I do love her. Even though she's annoying, I can't help it. I love all my animals. They're so funny.
Rachel wants to know, how do I introduce new baby chicks to a mama chicken with 3 babies?
You don't. That mother will not accept the baby chick. She'll kill them.
Yeah, you should keep them separate.
You got to keep them separated. She knows those aren't her babies, and so you're going to put the stranger babies in there, and she's going to peck them and be like, get them away from my babies. She's going to be like, danger, danger, and she's going to be so mean to them, and it doesn't take much to kill those little baby chicks. So don't even try it. She's not going to be like, oh, my long-lost babies, come over here and join the crowd, join the family. She's not going to do that. She's going to be so mean to them. It's going to be the saddest thing you ever saw. Those little babies, they're going to try to go near her because they don't know where to go. They're just going to be like, oh, I'm going to go over here. There's some chickens. And she's going to peck them, and it's going to be the most pitiful thing you ever saw. You're going to feel so sorry for those stranger babies. So don't even go there. Just keep them separate.
That'd be a good name for a band, Stranger Babies.
Yeah, don't even do it. It'll break your heart. It's like, don't go there. Poor things. So, that's that. Okay, well, I think it's that time, Scott.
Are you done?
It's that time. An hour's long enough, Scott. I mean, really.
Okay, well, we'll just say thank you to everybody. Thank you.
We always say thank you.
Channel members.
Love our channel members.
We got a $1.99
so
super
much.
chat from Ultimate Gamer 47. Can 4 roosters get along if they're raised together?
No, they can't because they will for a while, but here's the problem. As soon as they're mature, they're sexually mature, and there's any hens around, one of them will always be dominant, and then he will be mean to the other ones. And they all start fighting. So people think they will at first, you know, because they do get along at first. They'll be like, oh, they're getting along. It's like, yeah, they seem like it at first, but let me assure you, the older they get, the meaner they get, the more they fight. So no, they don't eventually. They'll all be enemies. And it's just a headache. So like, that's another one. Like, don't even go there. Don't even go down that road. You know, if one of those four does the rooster dance and it's a good rooster, maybe keep one and get rid of the other three. Or just don't keep any. Roosters are a pain in the neck. The hens actually lay better without a rooster. The hens are actually happier and lay better without a rooster.
Amber says, thank you for the live chat, Becky and Scott.
Love you, Amber. We're so happy you join us every week. Love having you.
And thanks to our Amber and our channel members and all the super chats.
Yes, thank you to everybody. Yes, we appreciate it so much every week. Okay. See you next time. Happy Homesteader.